Hey Leo, welcome back. So today we're diving into something that honestly came through pretty strongly when I pulled these cards for you. The question we're exploring is, what did you do to this person? Because their karma has them sitting in some serious regret right now. And I have to say, the energy coming through is pretty intense, but also kind of validating for you. Let me just start by saying that this reading is about someone in your life who clearly made some choices they're rethinking now. Whether this was a romantic connection, a friendship, or even a professional relationship, the cards are showing me that this person is going through it right now. And honestly, Leo, it seems like you just being yourself, living your truth, and moving forward with your life is what's triggering all of this for them. So I pulled 6 cards for this reading, and I want to take you through each one because the story they're telling is really fascinating. The universe has a way of balancing things out, and what I'm seeing here is that cosmic balance at work. The first card I pulled is the 5 of Cups, and wow. Okay, this card is already setting the tone for what this person is experiencing right now. When I see the 5 of Cups in this context, I'm immediately picking up on grief, disappointment, and regret. This is the card of someone who's standing there looking at what they lost, what they spilled, what they walked away from, and they can't stop fixating on it. What's really interesting about the 5 of Cups is that traditionally in the imagery, there are 3 cups spilled in front of the person, but 2 cups are still standing behind them. But this person isn't looking at what they still have. They're completely consumed by what they let go of. And Leo, in your situation, what they let go of was you. Or maybe they let go of the connection you had, the potential that was there, the good thing they had going. The energy I'm getting is that this person is in a space of deep emotional regret. They're replaying scenarios in their mind. You know that thing where you lie awake at night thinking about all the things you should have said or should have done differently? That's where they are. They're in that mental loop of, what if I had just done this? What if I had just said that? What if I had appreciated them more when I had the chance? And here's what's really coming through strong with this card. This person is realizing the value of what they had with you after it's gone. It's like they took you for granted when you were there, when you were available, when you were showing up for them. Maybe they didn't fully see your worth. Maybe they were distracted by other things or other people. Maybe they thought the grass was greener somewhere else. But now they're looking at those spilled cups and they're understanding what they actually lost. The 5 of Cups is also showing me that this person might be stuck in this energy. They're not moving forward yet. They're dwelling. They're marinating in their regret. And while part of me feels like that's just the natural consequence of their choices, another part of me is picking up that this is actually necessary for their growth. Sometimes people need to sit in the discomfort of their own decisions to really learn from them. What did you do to trigger this? Honestly, Leo, I think you just continued being amazing. You didn't dim your light. You didn't chase them. You didn't beg or plead or try to convince them of your value. You probably just moved on with your dignity intact, and that is what's haunting them now. They expected maybe a different reaction from you. They expected you to fall apart or to keep reaching out. But you didn't give them that. And now they're sitting with the reality that they actually lost someone special. The second card that came through is the 8 of Cups, and this is where the story gets even more interesting because this card is about walking away. But here's the thing. I'm seeing this card in relation to what this person did, but also what you did in response. Let me break this down because there are layers here. The 8 of Cups traditionally shows someone leaving behind a situation, walking away from something that no longer serves them, even if it's difficult to do so. In the context of this reading, I'm seeing that this person walked away from you or from the connection you shared. Maybe they literally left the relationship. Maybe they emotionally checked out. Maybe they made choices that pushed you away. Whatever happened, there was a departure, a turning of the back on what you two had. But here's where it gets really interesting, Leo. I'm also feeling like you embodied the 8 of Cups energy too. When this person showed you who they were, when they made it clear through their actions that they didn't value what you brought to the table, you had the strength to walk away too. You didn't stay in a situation that was draining you or not reciprocating your energy. You picked up your cups, even if some felt full and good, And you said, you know what? I deserve better than this. And you left. The Eight of Cups is a card of spiritual and emotional maturity. It takes real strength to walk away from something familiar, even when that something isn't quite right. It's scary to leave what you know and venture into the unknown. But you did it anyway. And I think that's part of what this person is regretting so heavily. They're realizing that you're not someone who will accept breadcrumbs. You're not someone who will stay where you're not fully appreciated. You have standards and boundaries, and you actually enforce them. What I'm picking up is that this person maybe thought you'd always be there. They thought they could treat you a certain way, or deprioritize you, or take you for granted, and you'd just accept it. They underestimated your self-respect. They underestimated your ability to walk away from what doesn't serve you. And now they're dealing with the consequences of that miscalculation. The Eight of Cups also suggests a quest for something deeper, something more meaningful. When you walked away, you weren't just leaving them behind. You were moving toward something better for yourself. You were seeking emotional fulfillment, authentic connection, people who see your value and treat you accordingly. And this person is now realizing that you're out there living your life, probably thriving, while they're stuck in regret. There's also this sense with the Eight of Cups that what's done is done. The figure in the card is walking away and they're not looking back. That journey has begun and there's no easy way to undo it. This person might be feeling like even if they wanted to reach out or fix things, too much has happened. The bridge has been crossed and maybe even burned, and they have to live with that. The third card I pulled for you is the Empress. And this is where I got really excited because this card is telling me so much about you and why this person is in such deep regret. The Empress is one of the most abundant, nurturing, creative, and magnetic cards in the entire tarot deck. She represents beauty, fertility, nature, creativity, and this incredible life-giving energy. Leo, what this card is showing me is that you are the Empress energy. You are someone who brings abundance into other people's lives. When you're in someone's world, you make it better. You nurture, you support, you create beauty and warmth. You're generous with your energy, your time, your love. You make people feel special and cared for. You have this natural magnetism that draws people in, and here's what this person is regretting. They had the Empress in their life, and they didn't properly honor that. Imagine having this abundant, beautiful, life-enhancing energy available to you and not fully appreciating it. That's what they did. They had someone who was willing to pour into them, to create with them, to build something beautiful together, and they didn't recognize the gift that was. The Empress also represents self-worth and knowing your value. And I think that's exactly what you've been embodying since whatever happened between you two. You know what you bring to the table. You know you're not someone who should be settling for less than full appreciation and reciprocation. You're the Empress, and the Empress doesn't beg for crumbs. She doesn't chase people who don't see her worth. She simply is, in all her abundant glory, and the right people are naturally drawn to that. What I'm picking up is that this person is now seeing you clearly, maybe for the first time. Sometimes distance and loss give people clarity they didn't have before. They're seeing your Empress qualities now, all the things that make you special and valuable and amazing. And they're kicking themselves because they realize what they had and lost. The Empress is also about creativity and creation. You're probably out here creating a beautiful life for yourself. Maybe you're focusing on your passions, your goals, your own growth and happiness. You're watering your own garden instead of trying to tend to someone else's weeds. And that energy is attractive and powerful. This person is likely seeing you flourish and realizing that they could have been part of that garden, but they chose to walk away or not properly tend to what you were building together. There's also a sensual physical beauty aspect to the Empress. You're literally glowing right now, Leo. Whether that's your physical appearance, your energy, your confidence, or all of the above, you're radiating. And this person is noticing. They're seeing what they're missing out on. They're seeing other people probably appreciating you in ways they didn't. And it's hitting them hard. The fourth card is the Two of Wands. And this is really fascinating because this card is about decisions, planning for the future and having options. When I look at the Two of Wands in the context of this reading, I'm seeing a couple of different layers of meaning that are both really relevant to your situation. First, I think this card represents a decision point that this person faced. The Two of Wands shows someone holding the world in their hands, looking out at the horizon, contemplating their next move. They have to choose between what they have and what they might find elsewhere. And Leo, it seems like this person made a choice. Maybe they chose someone else over you. Maybe they chose their freedom over commitment. Maybe they chose to pursue something they thought was better or more exciting. Whatever it was, they stood at that crossroads and made a decision. And now the regret is setting in because they're realizing they chose wrong. The Two of Wands can represent looking out at possibilities, but it can also represent the moment of realizing that what you're searching for was right in front of you the whole time. This person thought the grass was greener somewhere else. They thought there was something better out there than what they had with you. But they're discovering that's not the case. I'm also seeing the Two of Wands as representing where you are now. Because here's the thing, Leo, you have options too. You're not sitting around waiting for this person to come back or to realize their mistake. You're standing with your own world in your hands, looking at your own horizon, contemplating your possibilities. And those possibilities are exciting and abundant because you're the Empress, remember? You attract opportunities and connections. The Two of Wands is about having the world at your fingertips, about being in a position of power and choice. And that's where you are. You've moved past the initial hurt or disappointment of whatever happened with this person, and now you're in your power, making decisions about your future. You're not a victim in this story. You're the main character making active choices about where you want to go and who you want in your life, what's making this person regret. Their choices even more is probably the fact that they're seeing you're fine without them. You're not falling apart. You're not desperately trying to get them back. You're literally standing in your own Two of Wands energy, surveying your options, planning your next moves. And part of them probably hoped you'd be lost without them, but you're not. You're thriving and considering which of your many options you want to pursue. The Two of Wands also suggests partnerships and collaborations. I'm picking up that this person is realizing what kind of partner you would have been if they'd chosen differently. You're someone who plans, who dreams big, who looks toward the future with optimism and strategy. You're someone who would have been an incredible partner in building something meaningful. And they let that go. They're sitting with the weight of that choice now. The fifth card that came through is the Hermit. And okay, this card is adding another really important dimension to this reading. The Hermit is about solitude, introspection, inner wisdom, and soul searching. And I'm seeing this card as directly representing what this person is going through right now as a result of their karma. The Hermit shows someone alone, often on a mountain, holding a lantern, seeking truth and understanding. This person is in their hermit phase whether they chose it or not. They're alone with their thoughts. They're being forced to really look at themselves and their choices. The universe has them in a space of isolation where they can't run from their regrets or distract themselves from what they're feeling. This is the karma part of the reading really showing up. Sometimes karma isn't about punishment, it's about lessons. It's about the universe creating situations where we have no choice but to confront ourselves and our actions. And that's what's happening here. This person is in a period of forced self-reflection. They're thinking about what happened between you two. They're analyzing their behavior, their choices, their mistakes. And it's uncomfortable for them. The Hermit energy means they're doing this soul-searching alone. Maybe they don't have anyone to talk to about this. Maybe they're embarrassed to admit their regrets to others. Maybe they're just in a space where external distractions aren't working anymore and they have to face their internal reality. And what they're seeing when they look inward is that they messed up with you. I'm also getting that the Hermit represents wisdom that comes from this kind of deep reflection. This person is learning something important about themselves through this experience. They're learning about taking people for granted. They're learning about not recognizing value when it's in front of them. They're learning that their grass is greener mentality led them away from something genuinely good. These are hard lessons, but necessary ones. For you, Leo, The Hermit also has a message. While this person is doing their soul searching and dealing with their regret, you're being called to continue focusing on your own inner wisdom and growth. Don't get pulled back into their drama or their realizations. You've done your own hermit work. You've reflected on what you want and deserve. You've gained clarity about your worth and your standards. Stay in that wisdom. The Hermit also suggests that this person's period of isolation and regret might last for a while. This isn't a quick realization and then back to normal for them. They're in a genuine period of having to sit with themselves and what they've done. The lantern the Hermit carries suggests they're searching for truth, but that search takes time. They're not going to snap out of this regret quickly. The sixth and final card I pulled is Three of Wands, and this is such a perfect card to end on because it's all about expansion, looking toward the future, and reaping the rewards of what you've planted. When I see the Three of Wands in this position, I'm getting really positive energy about where you're headed, Leo, and also what this person is witnessing from the outside. The Three of Wands shows someone standing on a cliff or high ground, looking out at ships coming in, representing success, opportunities, and things manifesting. This is you right now. You've put in the work on yourself. You've maintained your standards. You've walked away from what didn't serve you. And now you're entering a phase where things are really starting to come together for you in beautiful ways. I'm seeing opportunities coming toward you. Maybe new connections, new romantic possibilities if this was a romantic situation, new friendships, new professional opportunities. The universe is responding to your Empress energy and your Two of Wands clarity by sending you options, good options, better options than what you walked away from. And here's where the karma really comes full circle for this person who's regretting their choices. They're watching this happen. They're seeing you flourish. They're seeing you attract new opportunities and new people. They're seeing that you didn't need them to be happy or successful or abundant. And that realization is part of their regret. They thought maybe you'd struggle without them, or that they were more important to your happiness than they actually were. But the Three of Wands is showing them that you're actually thriving. The Three of Wands is also about leadership and confidence. You're stepping into a more confident version of yourself. You've learned from this experience with this person. You've learned about your worth, your boundaries, what you will and won't accept. And that's making you an even more powerful, magnetic person. You're literally leveling up while they're stuck in their Five of Cups regret and Hermit isolation. What's beautiful about the Three of Wands is that it represents progress and forward movement. You're not stuck looking back like they are. You're facing forward, watching your ships come in, excited about what's next. You have this expansive energy of someone who knows good things are coming. And honestly, that's probably one of the things that's making their regret even heavier. They're stuck and stagnant while you're moving and growing. The Three of Wands also suggests that what you've been building is starting to show results. Maybe you've been working on yourself, your goals, your healing, your growth, and it's paying off. People are noticing, opportunities are noticing, the universe is noticing, and you're being rewarded for choosing yourself, for walking away from less than you deserve, for maintaining your standards even when it was hard. Does this resonate with you? Can you feel this energy of someone sitting in regret while you're actually doing really well? Drop a comment and let me know if this reading connected with your situation. And remember, Leo, your karma is getting blessed for honoring yourself while their karma is teaching them why they should have honored you too.